You clicked on this video because you're tired of facing the most well-known deck in Clash Royale. As you might have seen from the title of this video, I'll be showing you how to beat HOG 2.6 with 3.0 XBOW cycle. 2.6 HOG cycle has only 3 troops that deal direct damage to the XBOW: the HOG Rider, the Musketeer, and the Cannon. Because the HOG Rider is the only win condition in 2.6 HOG, opponents will normally save their HOG Rider for offense. Knowing this, opponents will only save the Musketeer and the Cannon for defending your XBOWs. One other card to look out for is the Ice Golem. Your opponent will not start defending your XBOW unless the XBOW is distracted first by a tank. Without keeping track of the Ice Golem or the HOG Rider, you shouldn't spam troops in front of your XBOW hoping to defend it. In this game, my opponent just used Ice Golem and HOG Rider for offense. That means they only have Musketeer and Cannon to defend my XBOW. They also overcommitted with a Fireball, so I'm going to play XBOW and I'm going to distract anything they put down, which is a Cannon or a Musketeer, with Skeletons, and I'm going to distract with my troops and DPS with a log. My opponent also plays Ice Golem, so they won't have an Ice Golem for the next time I play XBOW. It's extremely important to keep track of their HOG Rider so you can keep up the cycle with your Tesla for defense every single time. In this situation, my opponent just used Ice Golem and their Musketeer is out of cycle. If they were to play HOG Rider, I would just simply play Tesla and not need to overcommit. Knowing that their Ice Golem is out of cycle, I decided to play XBOW along with my Archer to get some damage. As you will see, my opponent will play Cannon and also commit a Fireball on defense, and they also commit another Ice Golem. Knowing which troops are out of cycle determine how and when you play your XBOW. As I approach 10 Elixir, I'm just going to cycle my Ice Spirit and also try to cycle my Log. I'm also keeping my Tesla ready in case they go HOG Rider. If you're ever starting a game and you don't have Tesla in cycle and the opponent plays HOG, it's important that you try to defend with troops instead of spells. This way you mitigate damage and maximize your Elixir. By keeping track of my opponent's cycle, I know their Ice Golem is out of cycle, so that I play XBOW, and I know they only have Musketeer and Cannon to defend, so I decided to play Knight, and they also defend with Ice Golem, and so I try to snipe it off with my Archers, and I also have my Skeletons and Ice Spirit ready in case they go HOG Rider. And as you will see, my XBOW ends up getting a little bit of chip damage on the tower. This is really good because a couple seconds of an XBOW lock does more damage than a Fireball. Now what I did here was optional. I did end up switching lays to try to catch my opponent off guard, but this is again completely optional and you can always try to go for one lane if you want. You can also see that my opponent decides to overcommit a little bit with the HOG Rider. By forcing your opponent to spend more Elixir than they need to, this gives you the edge to win the game. I decided to go XBOW right away because I know their HOG Rider and their Ice Golem is out of cycle. And here I know that they can only use Musketeer and Cannon to defend. And my XBOW yet again gets another lock. Starting in double Elixir, you can start to play defensive Tesla preemptively. This is because if they end up playing HOG Rider, the Tesla will activate and it will automatically defend. If you continue to cycle cards to defend, you'll end up getting a second Tesla if you need it. My opponent decides to go in with Ice Golem HOG Rider, and they also commit a Fireball as well, and you can see I'm already back to another Tesla. Because they committed so much Elixir on offense, I was about to go for another XBOW until they played Musketeer closer to the tower, and that guarantees me Fireball damage on the tower and a little bit of chip damage from the log. After that sequence, I'm trying to cycle back to my Tesla so that I can stay in cycle with their HOG Rider. Because I already have the damage lead, there's really no point in going in offense, so I decided to play a Knight in the back and try to set for another defense. They end up playing Musketeer and Ice Golem in front of the bridge, which is a big sign that they're going to go HOG Rider. So I decide to Fireball and Log and Ice Spirit to slow down the HOG Rider, and my Knight takes the rest out. It's also really important that you don't overcommit on your defenses as well, because once you overcommit, you will be in a Elixir disadvantage. And as you can see here, my opponent fails to defend my XBOW, and my Knight gets a lot of damage, and they essentially just give up. A good rule of thumb of playing against any deck is once you get a tower to about 1000 to 1200 damage range, you can start to Fireball and Spell Cycle to win the game. You should avoid playing offensive XBOW in 3 times Elixir as it's really difficult to break through. Coincidentally, my very next opponent is also playing 2.6 HOG. To start off the match, I like to cycle my Archers behind the king or just log the tower. Now remember, if you don't have Tesla in cycle when they play HOG, always use your troops first before playing any spells. Getting only one HOG hit on your tower is optimal, but try to mitigate as much damage as you can. Because they spent so much elixir on their fireball as well, I decided to go in with XBOW, and you can see that they defend with the ice golem, but I know that means they have no elixir to defend my XBOW with. So I decided to play an offensive knight at the bridge, and then play cannon, and I tried to kill the cannon as fast as possible with my log, and my XBOW ends up getting a breakthrough on the tower. You can also tell that my opponent is extremely low on elixir, and they're also in an elixir disadvantage because they played their fireball extremely late. This gives me the opportunity to start another offense, so I'm going to split my archers behind the king tower as soon as I get 10 elixir, and once I reach 10 elixir, I'm going to start playing my XBOWs at the bridge. As you can see, pretty soon, my opponent decides to play Musketeer in the back, and I decide to go XBOW because Musketeer is one of the cards that counter my XBOW. They once again try to tank with the Ice Golem, but that means they only have Cannon to defend my XBOW because they already used the Musketeer on the other side. They end up logging, which kills my Ice Spirit, which is a really good play on them, but I just play Knight on the other side to kill the Musketeer. Because I cycled my cards so quickly, I'm already back to another pair of archers, and my XBOW is my next card. As you can see in my hand, I keep my Tesla ready to play in case they go Hog Rider or Ice Golem. Whenever you split archers behind the king tower, it's always a good setup to play XBOW along one of the archers. This guarantees that you'll always have at least one archer to defend your XBOW with. As you can see, they go Fireball and they go Ice Golem to defend and tank my XBOW, but that means they have no elixir to defend because we're still in single elixir, and I decide to Fireball to DPS down the Musketeer and the Ice Golem. My XBOW also gets a lock on tower, and that wins me the game. My opponent decides to give up here. This goes to show you that keeping track of the Hog Rider, Ice Golem, Musketeer, and Cannon will determine how you formulate your attacks with the XBOW and how you defend your XBOW. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos just like this, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below. If you're interested in winning a Pass Royale, every month I host a Pass Royale tournament. I also do Pass Royale giveaways, so if you're interested, make sure you're subscribed and join the Discord link in my bio. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.